What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Paddock, and today I'm going to take you through my full alto sax gear setup. In just about every video I post to YouTube or Instagram, I get questions about my gear. What type of saxophone do I play? What kind of reed? What size reed? What type of mouthpiece? So today I'm going to do a full run through of my alto sax gear setup. So to start off, my alto sax is a Mauriat 67 RX Influence. I've been playing the saxophone for about 8 years, and I absolutely love this saxophone. I am endorsed by Mauriat, but obviously I played the saxophone. I got the saxophone before I was endorsed by Mauriat. So the way I ended up getting the saxophone is a student of mine was looking for new saxes, and he went to this event where they had like 40 saxophones lined up in a row. I was looking for a new sax at that time. I was playing a Yamaha Kustom that I really liked, but I just run it into the ground playing it so much that it wouldn't stay in adjustment anymore. So I needed to get a new sax out of necessity, not out of wanting to. So I literally went all the way down the line and played every sax, and this was the very last one that I played. I almost didn't play it. And the reason for that is it has sterling silver flute-looking key touches. And I just thought that was kind of a gimmick. And I was like, I definitely don't want that. I picked it up and played it, and I was blown away. I couldn't believe how well it played. And then I spent the next half hour in a practice room trying everything out on it and just absolutely loved the saxophone. So it has the sterling silver key touches. It has a big bell, and the tone is just big, fat, and in your face. The horn is pretty stock, although it's been repadded a couple times. I've been playing it for about 8 years, and pads don't last that long for me. The only modifications that I've made are to the palm keys, and that's just so that they fit my palms a little bit better. I added some screw on these to get a custom fit on my palm keys. I've had the same sax tech for a very long time. His name is Jeff Denning, and he knows exactly how I like my saxophone set up. So he always makes sure that the action is great, the key height is great. He takes care of all that for me. I don't even really need to tell him anything. When I bring it into him, he usually knows what's going to be wrong with it because he's been fixing my horns for so long. Next up is my mouthpiece. I've done a couple videos on this, one very recently, so there's already a lot of information out there about this, but this is a Barkley Brazil Kustom Pop 7 Blue. I got it through Junior Barkley, who is the Barkley behind Barkley Brazil. He heard some of my videos on Instagram and sent me a message asking if he could send me some mouthpieces. I said sure. I wasn't looking for a new mouthpiece. I've been playing on the same mouthpiece for a very, very long time. So I wasn't expecting to make a change, but I put this one on and it fit my playing style perfectly. The mouthpiece itself has a high baffle and a small chamber, although they say it's a medium chamber. But when I look at it, it looks like a small chamber. So maybe it's a medium small chamber, but it definitely has a high baffle that gets the air moving really fast, and it makes it very easy for me to cut through when I'm playing with a funk band or a rock band or R&B band, something like that. That's the kind of performances that I usually do, and this mouthpiece is great for that. It just gives me a big, fat, in-your-face, powerful sound. This mouthpiece does come in different colors, and they all play the same. I get asked that a lot. They come in red, gold, I think there's a pink one, and just a regular old black one. I play the blue one because that's what they sent me, and I kind of like the way it looks. I think it's a cool looking mouthpiece, but I like the way it plays way more than anything else. If you're watching this video, then that probably means that you are a saxophone player. If that's the case, and you'd like to get way better at playing the saxophone, I'd like to invite you to check out the Scott Paddock Sax School, where I'll take the guesswork out of what to practice, how to practice it, and what to practice next. The ligature that I play is a BG France Silver Duo. BG France Silver Duo. So they make this ligature in different materials, and all of the different materials sound a little different. The silver is the brightest and the biggest sound, so of course that's what I went with. This ligature I've been playing for about 5 years. I got it from Frank, who is the owner of BG. I met him at NAMM a couple years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Prior to playing the Silver Duo, I was playing a Rico H ligature, which this is a very similar ligature to the Rico H. It's just way better quality, and it sounds a little bit better. The Rico H, the screws would break on me. It was just a disaster. Things would break on that thing all the time. I would go through 2 or 3 of them a year. They're actually very cheap ligatures, but they're not that cheap if you have to keep replacing them. I've had this one for 5 years, plays great, always works, no problems at all. I have this same ligature on all of my saxophones. This thing lets the reed vibrate really free and open, and I can get a really big full sound with it. Next up is saxophone reeds. I get so many questions about saxophone reeds. I play a Legere American Cut 2.25. I've only been playing this for about a year because they're pretty new. Before that, I was playing the Legere Signature. I was playing those for 3 or 4 years. I really like them. Then Legere came out with the American Cut. They sent me a couple. I like them right away. It's very similar to the Signature. It's just a little bit thicker sound. It's not whiny at all. They last a little bit longer. I just like the tone of the American Cut a lot better. So I switched to the Legere American Cut. I am asked several times a week what type of saxophone mic I use. So when I'm doing Instagram or YouTube recording, I use this clip-on Shure Beta 98H. I love this mic. It's so easy. It's so simple. You just clip it onto the bell and it's always in the right position. I don't have to worry about it at all. When I play really low notes like a B or a low B flat, it might sound a little crazy, but besides that, it's just a great sounding microphone that I don't have to worry about at all. I've tried using fancier, more expensive microphones, but I live in Baltimore City and there are all kinds of crazy sounds going on outside of my house, from helicopters to sirens and dogs and people walking down the street. So this microphone is great for recording saxophone in my house because it doesn't pick up all of that. So there's a guy driving by with his radio on right now. So I have to hear that kind of stuff all the time when I'm recording, and this microphone is great because it doesn't pick it up, and I really like the way it makes my saxophone sound. When I do live performances, I always use a wireless mic, and it's usually a Shure wireless system. I don't like standing in front of a mic stand at all. I move around way too much, and I just like the freedom of having a wireless mic, and I've been using the Shure wireless systems forever. The saxophone stand that I use in my house is the Hercules stand. I really like these stands. They look great, they're very secure, but they are really heavy. So when I travel, I use this K&M fold up stand. This is a great design. It's super light, it fits in a case really easily, and it's super, super compact. So if you're worried about weight for going on planes, or you're worried about the size when you're carrying stuff in luggage, this thing is awesome because it folds down to that and it's super light. And last but not least, my saxophone case. I have several, but the one I use the most is the one that came with my saxophone. So it's the P. Mauriat contoured case, and I don't know who makes it. I know P. Mauriat doesn't make it. It feels a lot like a ProTech case, so I'm assuming that it's the same manufacturer. I like this case a lot because it's contoured and it looks like a saxophone. So when I'm trying to get on a plane or I'm going into a building or something and they know I'm a musician right away, there's no arguments about trying to get my instrument on a plane, or when I'm traveling with it, it makes it a whole lot easier. Also, it has a lot of pockets. I like the idea of the BAM cases, but the BAM cases don't have pockets, and pockets are very important for me when I'm traveling. I want to be able to put a lot of stuff in my saxophone case. And for that reason, I also have this saxophone case that I travel with a lot because it has this pocket that comes out really far. So I can actually pack some clothes and all kinds of other stuff in it. I can get a ton of stuff in this case. It's very secure, and it has the backpack straps also. I always have backpack straps on all of my saxophone cases. It just makes life so much easier. And when I'm on tour and I'm playing multiple saxophones, I have a massive case that can be checked and is super secure. It's called a battle case. It's made of a pelican case, and then the inside is custom cut for the saxophones. It's a massive case. It weighs a lot. It's not good for doing daily gigs, but it's awesome if you're on a big tour and you have roadies and techs helping you get your gear from place to place. It's awesome for carrying multiple saxophones, and they are super secure. So that is my full alto saxophone setup. If you'd like me to do a similar video about my tenor, leave me a comment below that says, what's your tenor setup? And I'll do another video with my tenor setup. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. If you'd like to dive deeper into my saxophone world, I'd like to invite you to check out the Scott Paddock Sax School.